All right, gentlemen, you've been through the rules in the locker room. I want you to obey my commands at all times. I want you to protect yourselves at all times. If you want to touch gloves, do it now. Best of luck to both of you.
All right, so you ready? You ready, sir? Let's go. Here we go.
Hello, guys. Today we're going to be introducing the first episode of First Strike Podcast, where we have some great people discussing the inside of the octagon. We got
Jesse Marsicano,
Jesus DeValley,
Christian Torres,
and your host Christian, the other Christian. Don't get us confused. Right now, we're just gonna start it off by introducing your favorite fighters, an introduction how you got into MMA, your training experience, whatever you guys got. Just go off. Let's start it with you, Jesse.
My UFC experience over the years, I've watched MMA for 3 solid years now. Every weekend, literally every Saturday, fight nights, UFC cards, right, consistently watching them every weekend. My training experience in college, I do take an MMA class now. I learned how to kickbox, box, do jiu-jitsu, defend myself at a high level. That's,
I won't say high level.
well, I'm learning. I'm learning.
Okay.
I'm
They'll put you on
there.
deck.
I'm getting there.
shots
Okay.
fired.
He's in a different weight class.
Yeah. My favorite fighters, just name a few is like the wrong terms here. I have a lot of favorite
James Toney?
fighters. No.
James Toney's one career fight and he got his ass whooped.
You discussed before the podcast started that Bob Sapp is indeed your all-time favorite.
No, he's
Wow.
the worst MMA
The biggest
fighter ever.
wimp in
Yeah,
history.
he taps out
man.
to every fight.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's be serious.
Back
All
on
right.
topic. Favorite fighters: Conor McGregor. I'm a huge fan of Conor McGregor. Demetrius Johnson, John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman, Nick Diaz.
Chris, what?
Oh, wait.
Yes,
Chris
Nick-
who?
Chris Weidman.
What does he say in his fights? What is he?
He said, "Be a fan of me, guys, because I can't get the fans out of my own
No.
hard work."
What does he say? Are you gonna join?
Yeah, exactly. Join the team.
Yeah,
Join the team.
Did you know he knocked out the greatest MMA fighter ever, though, right?
Don't disrespect Anderson.
Come on, let's get it.
Okay.
Ready?
And Michael
I like
Bisping beat him
I
too.
like Nick Diaz. I don't like his brother. Matt Hughes, Hall of Famer. Royce Gracie, one-dimensional fighter in my opinion. T.J. Dillashaw, Cody Nolov fighting for the title against Dominic Cruz.
Yeah,
I
that's
believe
interesting.
Cody Nolov is going to knock him out, but it's going to be very interesting. Ronda Rousey, hopefully she gets her title back. Cyborg. Joanna Jędrzejczyk out of Poland. Donald Cerrone, Anthony Johnson, Stipe Miocic, heavyweight champ. Came
Is
to
this the
last
whole
place.
UFC roster?
All right, 3 more. Khabib, Fedor,
Oh.
and Michael Venom Page.
These are all your favorite fighters?
Yeah.
You got a
He's one of those
dictionary.
kids that just wants to take it
Yeah,
all.
I want
yeah,
all of
yeah.
it.
He want
Hey,
just a few.
why
You
not?
sit on the bandwagon. Are you on the wagon?
No.
All right, Jesus, how about you?
Well, my fighting career, I'm right now 3-2, and we're going back all the way to the 3rd grade.
Is that your 2K record?
There's no. You
Oh, he's
know
talking
all
about Street Fight.
I'm talking about Street
That's
Fight
right.
record. 3rd grade, I started it all. Took my blocks back, put them in on deck, easy. But no, besides that, really no mixed martial arts experience. Just a huge fan. Love to watch the sport. Love the competition. This is the only sport that you have no idea who's gonna come out the victor at the end.
Absolutely.
Got best friends who actually got me into it. I'm just on this podcast just to give a couple notes here and there, maybe some little comedy sketches for you.
Absolutely.
But besides that,
You got any
a few
favorite fighters?
Christian- Oh, I got some. Oh man, I'm about to give you some
Okay.
favorite fighters.
Yeah,
list
list.
I got James Toney as he's number
What's his
one.
career record in
Uh,
MMA? 0-1?
yeah, but you remember he was
You said CM Punk.
he was handicapped. CM Punk, Bob Sapp, like you
Absolutely.
said.
Are you kidding
No,
me right now?
Come on.
Right, your list is similar now.
No, first watching MMA, Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
Just love this guy.
Yeah.
His hands are wicked. He basically was,
Spider, baby.
yeah.
What happened
He
to
basically, USADA
Chris
got him.
Weidman.
But
USADA popped him.
no, but that man at the time could do anything. He was owning the record for most fight
Title defenses.
title
Absolutely.
defenses. Just the way he made it look so easy, dancing around guys. One of my favorite fights is him versus Forrest Griffin.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
You know what I mean?
Forrest Griffin should have left the
Looking
state
like-
after the
Yeah.
left.
He ran
I'm
out of
surprised he didn't
the
retire.
country, excuse
Yeah, that's
me.
right. He should have just said, "I don't do MMA no more. That's
Yeah.
not me." He should have just got an alter ego
I'm
and
a
turned to
changed
somebody
man.
else.
That's someone else.
Yeah,
Forrest Griffin's still a Hall of Fame fighter, though. Anyway, back to your favorite fighters. Stop it. Come on now.
Chuck Liddell, just love the way he swings at people.
Overhand, right?
Yeah, and the only thing that sucks, he lost his chin later in the years.
Absolutely. Which happens to the best of them, like
yeah.
Anderson Silva.
Yeah,
Or his leg.
don't disrespect him.
Oh God.
And Nate Diaz.
That came out of nowhere as soon as he beat Conor McGregor.
That's right. I am a Nate Diaz fan.
You bandwagon.
That's right. I was.
Fuck Stockton 209 ain't shit.
Yo, I'm about to. All right, can we come meet outside? I'll show you what's happening.
Okay.
You're 3-2. I don't know if you got it like that.
I got the same record as Nate Diaz.
All right, Christian, how about you?
Basically, I'm an avid fan of mixed martial arts. I've been into it since about 2005, 2006, since the THQ released the first UFC game. I believe it was called Undisputed. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Definitely into that at the time. And
Who's on the cover?
2005?
Geez, who was that?
The cover was Forrest Griffin.
Was
that?
it?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was
I
on
remember.
top.
You talking about the Hall of Famer?
No, I would respect that he's the Hall of Famer because what he did with Stephen Bonner.
Yeah.
That first fight,
That-
they
that
opened the
fight
map
brought-
for UFC.
Yep, yes it did.
Essentially, their
Yeah,
stock
he
went
was,
up.
he
after
was
that.
one of the pioneers.
That was,
You know how?
that was,
Yeah,
that was by split decision too.
absolutely.
That fight, and they both got UFC contracts.
Yeah, no,
And
that
they
was
both
great.
deserve it. They're both Hall of Famers. But anyway,
Yeah,
I went in a row.
yeah. Again, and most of my experience with MMA, I've had some minor in a few gyms actually, and I've grappled with some people trained in purple. Now, I'm not sure I trained with any black, but I've been definitely the highest degree I've trained with was purple. I'm self-taught within the YouTube. I learned a lot. YouTube, I mean, you can learn so much just these days with technology. And I spend most of my time generally when I was in high school wrestling with Jesus, who I think he had about 30 pounds.
Oh, easy.
Absolutely. Now, again, I know most people view an experience based on the belt system, like a black belt, a blue belt, and such. And I get that. That does make sense. But also, you have to realize you can learn without a belt. I mean, simply,
very true.
it's the amount of experience you put, it's the amount of time you put. And I feel like generally...
I'm sure James Toney don't got a belt.
Exactly, and he competed in MMA. How about that?
CM Punk definitely had that.
He don't have anything. And
Come from WWE. fans.
here's the irony: John Jones is submitting black belts. So that goes to show you how important the belt system is when in utilizing MMA. And I feel like it's generally for revenue, obviously, to keep people coming and keep them inspired to grow. But enough with that. My favorite fighters listed will be Dominic Cruz, Conor McGregor, DJ, which is Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse, and TJ Dillashaw, and I don't know why I put him, but Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold's
Because he's handsome.
He is Luke Rockhold. Don't mind my language.
You talking about the guy who got Michael Bisping asked him where he was at the
I
time?
know, man. The way Michael Bisping treated him after that fight was disrespectful, man.
You know he
You
had
didn't
2
like it?
weeks notice, and he knocked his ass out
Exactly.
with that
10
left hand.
days, buddy. 10 days, yeah. And again, Luke, you could see the entire fight. Luke looked lackadaisical.
He was
looked
using
like
his jab too much.
Exactly.
He never uses that.
And-
He's known
and-
for his
But
Muay
we
Thai,
all
his
do
jiu-jitsu.
remember the fight before that, and that was against your boy Chris Weidman.
Yes, and you do know that Chris Weidman never pulled off a spinning back kick in his career until that fight, right?
And he should never did.
No, he
that.
shouldn't have. because
Absolutely
Hey, honestly,
He
let's
definitely would have
start it off
beaten
with
Luke
the Chris
Rockhold.
Weidman
It would have been.
debate
It would have been
because
good.
I know you guys have some mixed feelings
Oh
about
yes,
that.
boy.
I do.
Jesse being a big fan of Chris Weidman,
Yep.
Christian and Jesus, not as
Okay.
big.
I'll ask a question to start it off. Why do you not like Chris Weidman?
personally, I think his so just overall style. I mean, he was the champion. He did knock out the greatest of all time. We can all
But is
say
it
that.
credible? Like,
Incredible. I don't believe skills
The second
wise.
fight,
I don't believe he's
obviously,
incredible.
wasn't.
But I believe in that first round he was giving it to Anderson. He took him down and he was pounding on him too. You know, Anderson always had trouble with some wrestlers like Chael Sonnen. But Chris Weidman has great wrestling. There's no doubt about it. And he's got a tough fight against Uriah Romero. If Uriah's still on steroids, which he looks the
probably
same.
is.
Yeah, he looks the exact same. And
He's a
you
good
saw the
fighter, though. I do respect you all, Romero.
tainted supplements. Of
Yeah.
course, that's always the excuse within the
What, you
MMA
had kangaroo?
community. That's Frank Mir. He ate kangaroo meat.
So now, why did you love Chris Weidman so much? Because I ain't seen nothing that impressive of this man.
You do know he was a big underdog against Anderson Silva, correct?
Like any other, yeah.
That was the first
That's great.
time Anderson Silva ever got defeated like that in his career. He got knocked out. He was showboating.
Absolutely, and I think
That-
he
that's-
deserved that.
That's
Yes,
why,
he did deserve it.
That's why I put a little like fluke to it almost because he was
Question.
showboating.
I do too. I
It was
do too.
questionable, and then the second fight, it wasn't even like we got a fair
Freak
fight back.
accident.
'Cause
Okay.
It was just the injury.
Okay, but
And
still.
he did that same thing with Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping, he
And
could
it
have
cost
turned
him.
Michael Bisping's lights out any minute he decided to, but yet he lollygagged and played around, and he got clipped by Michael Bisping as well. And I don't think Michael Bisping's the best in the world.
Oh,
I
no.
don't.
No.
Just ask him, though.
Chris Weidman's going to get his belt back. But here's my defense, which is, what do you have against him?
Who, Chris Weidman?
Yes.
He just beat the greatest fighter of all time.
Okay.
So you
All right.
just have the bandwagon of Anderson
Okay,
Silva.
Oh, yeah, big time.
I'm going to get into this. One, he beat Anderson Silva. In the rematch, Anderson Silva he was losing that fight until he broke his leg.
Yeah.
That
It
leg
wasn't
injury.
it one round though.
It was two. He
Two.
broke
No, I'm
his
saying
slot
he
in the
broke his
second round.
leg he broke his leg in the second round.
Yeah, but if that didn't happen, it would have been an interesting fight. We don't know because he broke his leg. But after that fight, he obviously kept his belt. He beat the shit out of Lyoto Machida for 5
I was
rounds.
impressed.
An old man,
I was
Lyoto
impressed.
Machida.
Yeah,
Yes,
I feel
but
like all his
Lyoto
wins are
Machida
against-
is the dragon.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Fame.
What's his last couple fights?
Luke Rockhold beat him as well.
Luke
Uriah
Rockhold
Romero
beat the
beat
shit out
him.
of
I
him.
mean, it could
So
be
He's
basically
suspended
shown.
for 2 years for doing some steroids, but that's his.
Well, he
his
admitted
issue.
to it.
So
Yeah.
basically, it just looks like they're just beating up an old punching bag.
Yeah, I feel
Okay.
like all his wins was my grandpa. Like,
Okay, but
Lyoto's still good. Don't.
yes, he is very good.
Yeah.
He beat the shit out of Vitor Belfort. Yeah, he's old too, but
Well, Vitor rocked him in the beginning of the fight.
Yes, he
he
did.
did. And I think if Vitor had a gas tank that went 5 rounds,
Yeah.
he'd knock out Chris
yeah.
Weidman.
But then
his
Chris
gas.
Weidman used his ability, took him down to the ground, ground and pound, fucked his face up, and he has the belt.
Yeah.
His next fight, he did take on Luke Rockhold. He did lose in the third round.
It could have ended in the second round.
I think Chris Weidman was winning.
He beat the brakes off him in that mounted position, man.
I think Chris Weidman was winning that fight until he threw that spinning back kick, and then
Mm-hmm.
Luke Rockhold
that
caught
is
him.
when he messed
What
up.
he
Yes.
what did you try to
Yes.
like,
And-
turn into a kickboxer?
And it was awful, by the way. Awful.
Luke Rockhold, you can't forget, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And previous in the fight, Chris
He-
Weidman, because they fought in June of 2016, in May, Chris Weidman got his black belt in jiu-jitsu. So he's good on his back, and so is Luke Rockhold. But
Luke Rockhold's a
obviously-
wrestler, right? He trains
yes.
with DC, right?
You know, the funny part is because he trains with DC, Cain Velasquez, Khabib. That's great experience to have.
Who?
Khabib. He's on
no,
AKA.
no, no, who, like Chris Weidman?
No,
No,
we're
no,
talking about
Luke
Luke
Rockhold,
Rockhold. We're talking
yeah.
about
Trains
Luke
with-
Rockhold.
Okay. At
Yeah,
AKA,
it's the
yes,
people
yeah.
he's trains with that
Yeah.
enhances him. The Joe Rogan says this often, but the way he ragdolls people, the way he ragdolled Lyoto Machida, he beat him up. Lyoto was in a fetal position. And he was just
Yeah.
pounding on him, and that's how the fight was stopped.
Yeah.
The way Luke Rockhold, for a skinny man, but he's also shredded.
Yeah.
He just handles people. It's very impressive.
Yeah,
What
but-
is he at? What he fights at 180?
185,
185,
and
And what is he? What is he coming out of bed?
I would assume
Probably 200 easy.
Yeah,
205, 210.
I mean, he's
up
so
there.
damn lean, though. It's crazy.
Is him and Chris Weidman sitting at the same height?
Not sure. You'd have to double check that. Yeah.
I'll fact check it.
But
I'm
yeah.
not sure about that. But anyway, back to the Luke Rockhold, Chris Weidman. Luke Rockhold did get the best of him. He beat the shit out of him in the second round. Herb Dean did not call the fight
I'm
at the end of the second
surprised.
round, and I was
I'm
surprised
surprised.
watching that. It went to the third round. It was going to the clinch by the cage. Chris Weidman got knocked down, and then Luke Rockhold got into half guard, didn't even get into full guard, and just finished him, and he took the belt. I give Luke Rockhold tremendous respect for beating Chris Weidman.
Luke Rockhold is 1 inch taller than
Chris Weidman.
Chris Weidman.
Do you know the
He-
reach differential?
I didn't check the reach. He's but Luke Rockhold 6'3", Chris Weidman is
Okay,
6'2".
so Luke Rockhold probably has a little bit of a reach on him too.
Yeah.
But
Well, 1
the
inch
reason
comes
why
more weight
I think
also.
Luke Rockhold was a one and done, he got his ass knocked out by Michael Bisping,
I
a
know.
37-year-old man who lost to big name fighters. He lost to Dan Henderson back in his career.
He got knocked out.
Fought a
he
senior
got,
citizen
he
in
got
his
knocked
last
out by
fight.
Luke Rockhold. Bisping, until this title fight, he was honestly like
On the way
he's-
out.
Yeah, he was thinking
He
about
did
retiring.
beat the greatest, as Jesus says. I don't know
I
if
don't
he's the
think-
greatest of all time anymore. I'm
I
sorry.
don't think he beat.
Yeah, once again,
Anderson
an
The
old-
Silva
greatest
back
at
in
one
London.
time.
At one time, yeah, in
Yeah,
one
yeah,
in
yeah.
one period.
I think he got away with that match. The split decision against Anderson.
That was odd with
It
that
was
flying
very
knee,
odd.
and then
And then
Herb
the
Dean was like,
whole-
"Oh crap!" The,
Yeah,
the
it's still
bell
going
just
on.
rang. I
Yep.
didn't call the fight.
agree
Anderson
with that.
celebrating on top of the.
He thought he won.
It was premature and it was really weird.
Definitely controversial.
But yeah, I like Chris Weidman. He
Yeah.
has one loss to Luke Rockhold.
No,
He
absolutely.
will get the belt back, in my opinion. Bisbing wants to fight GSP, but that's not going to happen. We'll talk about that later. But Chris Weidman is fighting Yoel Romero at the UFC 205 card.
I only see Chris Weidman winning that fight is because Romero got literally this man.
He gasses out.
He literally just puts
Yeah.
$10 in his tanks and said, "I can
Yeah.
get the whole way."
There's no conditioning.
Exactly. But we don't want to talk too much about that. That'll be
Yeah,
next
we'll
week's.
get into
But
that
I
later.
think Uriah has some knockout power that Chris Weidman
Oh, yeah.
has to avoid.
Yeah,
We'll see in the future.
You'll definitely hear our further opinions on that when we do the predictions for 205.
Yeah.
But let's go back to our schedule. So right now we're going to start it with Uriah Faber because he just announced his retirement. So in order, yeah, clap
Tremendous
for the man.
career for Uriah Faber.
He's on that Lyoto Machida Anderson Silva,
California kid.
just sitting, kind of just filling seats and getting knocked out.
That's a punching bag.
Yeah, he's an old man punching bag.
I'll give the guy credit. He's facing top competition, man.
Yeah.
Who's his last
That
fight?
bantamweight division.
Jimmy
is
Rivera,
one
who
of the
looks like an animal
best
after that
divisions.
fight.
Oh, dude, he
UFC.
literally locked his arm up. He locked his arm up right next to his chin and said, "Uriah, come taste this."
Yeah.
I know.
Jimmy Rivera is no joke. He's undefeated.
He said, "What's your favorite food? Knuckle sandwich?"
He's facing Brad Pickett next. Brad Pickett is coming off a vicious knockout at UFC 189 from Thomas Almeida. I don't know if you guys know who Thomas Almeida is, but Cody Inolov knocked him out a few months ago, and that's who Uriah Faber is fighting next. I think Uriah is done. I don't think he's going to finish his career with the win, sadly. His career record is 33-10. He was the WEC champ. He never held the belt in the UFC, sadly. Just to review his resume and his
What's some of your favorite moments?
skill breakdown. Definitely when he beat Dominic Cruz by guillotine in WEC. I don't know if you guys are a big fan of Michael McDonald at all.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's an
all right.
interesting fighter. He beat Michael McDonald.
And I thought that was impressive, too.
Yeah.
His performance there was
I don't have a lot of favorite moments from Uriah because
So
he's
let
not
me-
one of my favorites. But he did have a 9-win streak in the WEC, which is very important.
Mhm.
Fight of the night 4 times, submission 6 times.
So let me ask you this question.
that's
It's
about
basically, Christian, you probably, I'm not sure, you
Okay.
you know a little bit more
We'll
about
see, we'll see.
Uriah.
Yeah.
Uriah. Basically through his prime, how old was he when he joined the UFC?
I would say
30s?
early 30s.
Yeah.
So early 30s. Was he in his prime then?
Absolutely.
So
I mean, the
basically-
guy looks good now.
So did
I
he
mean,
just
you see his
basically?
physique.
So did he just basically at his prime never got the opportunity
He's competed
to-
for the title about like Ronaldo Barao. He fought him twice.
and just couldn't?
and
He
lost.
just
Couldn't-
couldn't. I mean,
couldn't
he fought
finish him.
Jose Aldo. He has troubles
Walking
with
to this
Brazilians
day.
who kick. I mean, these guys, they tear him up. But I believe it was second fight. The stoppage was odd. Uriah was covered up in almost I don't know the position specifically, but it was almost Ronaldo Barao had his back essentially, and Uriah was covering up, and there was a few seconds left in the round, and the referee was Ronaldo Barao was just
knocking at the door?
just simply tapering punches. It wasn't really hurtful whatsoever. And the ref said he was going to stop it, but Uriah is calling the ref, giving him a thumbs up, saying he's good. And the ref stops it. The round was almost ended, so I believe they should have just kept it going, unfortunately.
If that was
Back in
Herm
the day-
Dean, he would have let it fly.
Renan Barao was the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter, arguably
I
back
know,
then.
people were
So
really
He
blowing
was the
him.
most dominant
Yeah.
champ back then. So,
Yeah.
So now, do you guys think that Uriah Faber just couldn't handle the competition in the UFC, or
at top level, no.
Yeah, unfortunately, his style, it's great. I mean, he's very scrappy. He loves getting into a brawl.
Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, he's got a very he doesn't have a versatile striking.
no.
Everybody
He's
knows
good hand speed.
And Dominic says it all the time. You just got overhand right. You ain't gonna touch me with it.
And obviously, Uriah Faber is great UFC fighter, great mixed martial arts, because obviously you can see talent in other guys. Because I'm pretty sure he brought T.J. Dillashaw up from high school.
Team
or
Alpha Male.
college.
He's the
And
leader.
what TJ do?
Team Alpha Male.
He left.
Yeah.
The snake in the grass.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Yeah.
respect
Like
for
Connor
TJ.
predicted.
Respect for
Yeah,
TJ.
he obviously saw the talent in TJ, and later on, I'm pretty
Chad
sure TJ.
Mendes.
Chad
Joseph Benavidez. All these guys are under
Cody
Uriah
Noah.
Faber's. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
I
I'm
hope
pretty
he
sure what
becomes a champion one day.
Chad Mendes fought, or was it? Has he ever fought for a title?
Twice.
He's
And
got a
the
title.
second
Yeah.
fight he had with Jose Aldo, I just watched today.
That
Good
was,
performance.
That was very
overall.
arguable.
There's no loser there, man.
He
Honestly,
rearranged
Jose
Aldo's
Yeah,
face.
exactly, as Connor said.
And then TJ held the featherweight.
No,
Bantamweight
He
title.
whooped the brakes off of Ronaldo.
Yeah,
Barao.
Twice.
He was not the best fighter in the world after that.
Yeah.
Nope. Sadly.
was
Obviously,
bad.
Uriah Faber, would you say Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Easily, because
Yes.
UFC's still rising. It's not
33
like they have
and
such
10,
a rich
that's
history.
a very impressive record, especially in the bantamweight division. It's so deep,
And-
especially now and back in the day. And he fought in WEC, and he did have a belt.
Yeah.
So 33 and 10 record as an MMA fighter, that is very Hall of Fame worthy. He would be a
Now,
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he is a Hall of Famer. But that also
We
comes
can't be
with territory with him. He is a pioneer of MMA. These lighter weight classes didn't get much recognition until WC came out, until Anthony Pettis hit that kick off the wall.
Yeah,
Oh,
That
because
was awesome, by
I
the way.
remember
That
Uriah
was
Faber
one of my
before
favorite
I
fighters
even
as
know
well.
who he was. Just his face being on most.
Exactly.
yeah, I was
Property.
first. He was
The
the
California
first UFC person that I seen on any like sponsor like
Yeah,
that. He had the
he's
monster
up there, yeah.
I
sponsor.
know he had the braids back in the day.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. I mean,
He-
overall,
he was
still
giving
rocks
UFC
it
a
to
lot
this
of
day.
attention.
overall,
And
he's,
that chin.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
dimmer.
I know the butt chin. But yeah,
Something
he's a
good to aim
pioneer. All right. He's a pioneer of MMA, and I really do think he's a Hall of Famer easily.
Yeah. He's not known for his striking ability. He was more of a submission fighter, in my opinion.
He had a heavy right hand, though.
Yeah. He did come out of UC Davis in California. He was a good wrestler. Not one of my favorite fighters of all time, but he did have a very good career. I'm not gonna disrespect him at all. He will be a Hall of Fame fighter. I don't think he's gonna win his next fight, sadly, because he's 37 years old. I just think he's too old. He got embarrassed by Jimmy Rivera, and I just think after that
But
fight,
is Jimmy Rivera on the come up?
yeah,
Absolutely.
he's undefeated.
So that's what I'm saying.
I'm
So
excited to see
Do
him.
you think Uriah could win his next fight?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I hope
Brad
so, but I
Pickett-
don't see it happening.
I feel like the UFC's feeding feeding Brad Pickett to Uriah.
Yeah.
It's a good end fight to come off a win.
And it's in Sacramento, his hometown. So,
So,
that's a great
yeah,
send off
that's-
to his career.
Well,
And
it'll
Paige
be the
Van
right
Zandt is
way.
fighting there too. She's
Yeah,
out of
that's
Sacramento
exciting.
too.
She's
She
hot.
trains with. Oh my goodness, she's
she
Yeah,
used to
Jesse's-
date Cody Nola, by
Yes.
the way. Yeah.
his wife now, Cody Nolan. Oh goodness,
Actually, I prefer Paige, but let's not get on that.
she's coming off a nice wheelhouse kick.
I know, that was ridiculous,
What was
wasn't
her name?
And on the next episode of MMA Wives.
That was a good one.
So what's some of your favorite moments from Uriah, Chris?
Basically, I have a top 5. I mean, he defeated Rafael Sunsao, and that's impressive. I mean,
Yeah,
Rafael's
that's very impressive.
always been a top tier bantamweight or featherweight, depending on what class he's fighting, and he's always been very impressive. And then his number 4 would be Faber versus Brown. He lost the fight, but essentially it showed his heart because he hurt both of his hands. And the entire fight, he was fighting with elbows and knees. The entire fight.
Is this is your order 1 through 5, 5 through 1, or just
5
not-
through 1.
Okay.
5 through 1.
So 1 is going to be your...
The
best.
best,
Top
the
rank.
absolute
Alright, cool.
best that I enjoyed watching. So number 3 would be Michael McDonald. Michael McDonald's he's always a contender. He's talented. I mean, he just lost to John Lineker, but John Lineker's hands
no
of
joke.
stone for a reason. He's got heavy hands. But great performance by Uriah, made sure to remain relevant despite his age at the time. I believe he was 36, 35. And then number 2, Faber versus Edgar. At one time, I had a small fallout and I stopped watching it, but I found out these two fought, and that's an ideal matchup. That's such a good matchup. I mean, Frankie's volume unfortunately came out bested
Better
Uriah,
than
but
yes,
that
did.
generally happens to Uriah. So
Yeah.
he gets out volume because he throws such
Unfortunately.
limited punches. He generally stays to the right hand and rarely uses any other tools. And then the last fight, which was great. Last thing Joe Rogan said was he wants to watch it again, which we got to see it again, but it was Cruz versus Faber 2. Great fight. Uriah Faber rocked Cruz at one point. Cruz had some nice combinations of his own, his elusive movement as well. And at the end of that, it left us wanting more. And in that third fight, we saw who was much better.
Very one-sided.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is going to bring us to our next segment now. And in celebration of Halloween, we're going to do maybe a little list of the top 10 scariest fighters in MMA history. So, let's get to it. You want to start it off, Chris?
Absolutely. Now, for those listening, it's not skill set wise. I mean, obviously it is, but also it's based on appearance. So don't criticize if I say Bigfoot Silva's an honorable mention because I know he's terrible. But
I think he retired.
He
But
just
he-
left the UFC, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
He's
So we're not celebrating his retirement?
No.
absolutely no.
He
Well,
doesn't get a podcast?
well, he
No.
is
His last name
offered.
is Silva.
He's offered $500K to fight in Russia. I mean, there's so
Hey,
much
take the
money
500K
around the
and
world.
live.
And just dip.
I've seen too many fights with him already.
Take a beating, but he usually takes a beating against the top. But starting at, I basically have a top 10 compiled, and starting at number 10, I got Shogun Hua. Man,
Ooh.
this guy Pride was an
That
animal.
was
I mean,
another huge fan of mine.
exactly, yeah.
I like that.
Huge fan of, my bad.
Sorry.
I meant to say of.
Yeah. Basically, he's a prodigy of Randalang. They used to work together under the
Used to
same
train
camp.
With Machida,
Rand-
right?
Yeah.
And Anderson Silva. They used to
They're all
go in
Brazilians,
circles.
yes.
They used to go in circles. He has vicious Muay Thai. I mean, he destroyed Rampage Jackson.
Sadly,
and
Rampage
in
is one of my
Pride,
favorites.
yeah, Rampage is great. In Pride, not many people beat Rampage. I mean, Rampage has a win over Chuck Liddell when not many people have at that time. So yeah, Shogun would be my number 10.
He
Absolutely.
he held a UFC belt and a Pride belt?
Who?
Or never Shogun.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
He won, I think, the 185 in Pride. I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure it's the
205 in UFC.
Yeah,
until he got
205
his
in
ass
UFC.
beat by John Jones.
Yeah,
We'll get into that later.
Yeah, I mean, and then number 9, I have sitting at Crow Cop. Do you know much about him, Jay?
He kicks, right?
He kicks hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, but isn't he
It's one of
most
the
known?
assets.
He's most known for
Both
the head
his
kick.
legs will put you in the hospital.
Absolutely,
Just
yeah.
say that.
He has that left kick that breaks bones and skulls, man. I mean,
Splits tree trunks.
yeah, I'm telling you, he'll stop your heart if he hits your chest with that left kick. No, absolutely, he's a beast. I definitely have respect for him. He has an upcoming fight with Randall.
He's fighting again?
Yep, in December.
So the Bulldog?
They're basically both old and past their
my
prime,
goodness.
but
I did not know that.
they actually fought before in Pride, which
Yeah.
when you go back to the Pride days, man, it seems so awesome.
Everything was
Is this-
legal.
is this-
Everything seems awesome. Like they had the best matchups. Like Fedor was there. You wish the UFC had those people at the time. But yeah, Crow Cop had a vicious kick. He beat the crap out of Randall Silva. But granted, it was a catchweight fight, so Randall was significantly underweight in comparison to Crow Cop. So he's at my 9. Number 8 would be TRT, Vitor Belfort. Now, I stress TRT because he's a different fighter now.
Is he
considering that
sponsored by
he's
USADA?
No, USADA's his worst enemy. Yeah. But basically, whenever he's on steroids or he's on TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy,
It's
he is
USADA.
a monster.
USADA's knocking on the door?
He's explosive.
Is he explosivity at its finest?
To quote Dada 5000, he's explosivity. at its
An all-time great.
absolute savage. He knocked out Luke Rocco. He knocked out Michael Bisping, Dan Henderson twice. Animal, Vitor Belfort. I mean, unfortunately what happened to him and Anderson can happen to anyone. I mean, he got kicked right in the face with his toe. The toe hit him right in the nose.
Good one.
Big toe is big.
Now, number 7, Chris Cyborg, and that's obviously the female one. Yeah, I call her the Randall Silva of female MMA. I mean, she puts her hands out, she brawls. She's under the training and tutelage of Perillo, and he's also the coach of Michael Bisping. And I mean, both fighters have featured in success, and I give credit to Perillo because he's a good boxing coach. And ever since she's been working with him, her striking's much cleaner. She used to throw hooks, wild hooks.
Yes.
Do you think she'll be taking over the women's mixed martial arts division?
I mean,
Is she
unfortunately...
too old?
No.
Well, no,
They
she's
need
definitely-
to make it.
She's young. She's like 32, 30,
Yeah.
31.
They need to make a featherweight division for women. Do you know her walk around rate?
Yeah, man, it's like
170
170
pounds.
Yeah, 170.
That is hell to cut to 140.
Yep.
Have her fight Connor.
That would be a competitive matchup.
Oh god. But the future matchup is Ronda and Cyborg. I would love to see that fight. Cyborg is a great fighter, but we're not going to get into that. But Cyborg is definitely a very scary fighter.
Yeah, especially in appearance-wise. No offense to her, but she's not the best looking.
So she's not on the episode of MMA Wives.
No, but I wouldn't
No.
want her there.
Yeah,
She's not.
casted.
She's not great to be promoted on TV. That's why the UFC doesn't promote her.
I wouldn't want to mess with her, but I wouldn't want to.
You gotta do it away.
But
That's
number
all, man.
6, I think Jesus is gonna like this one, man. If he touches you, you die. It's Anthony Rumble Johnson.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
He
His last
doesn't have
couple
to hit you
fights.
hard. He doesn't have to hit you hard. His last fight against Glover
Sure.
tapped him with an uppercut. And Glover doesn't remember what happened the last week.
I think one thing he started wrestling the ref.
Yeah, his tooth went flying.
Those are usually the best. Don't you love when they start grappling
man.
with the ref?
They don't
and the
even know.
The ref's tapping on his back like, stop, because you'll beat the crap out of me if you don't know who I
Yeah,
am.
they could get in trouble for that too.
Absolutely. But yeah,
Why
that's
does
my
he have
number
to touch
6.
to death?
Why
He
is
was fighting at a lighter weight class, right?
You know-
he used to fight at welterweight.
Which is ridiculous.
That's
He's
scary.
205
Ridiculous.
pounds.
And you should see him at welterweight. He looks starved. He looks like
Yeah.
he hasn't been eating well.
Yeah.
And he lost against
Did
Josh
he-
Koscheck.
Did he still have the power?
No.
No, not at all.
Unfortunately, no.
He was more of a wrestler back at
Yeah.
170.
We
in my
remember
opinion.
him making a cameo on the Warrior.
Yeah.
In the movie The Warrior.
And it's funny, if you asked me at the time when Warrior was released if he was good or not, I'd be like, he's a bum. At the time, he wasn't even in the UFC. He got cut.
I honestly remember.
Yeah, he did
asking
get
you.
cut.
He got cut because
Yes.
he can't make weight. He can't make weight, so he went with 205, and he's an absolute
So let
beast.
me. We always have this discussion, off the
air?
rec. Oh yeah, off the air. If he fights John Jones,
That's such an interesting matchup.
Goodness. That's
who
not
do you
even.
think
That's
Walks away with it.
John
Honestly,
Jones. Are you
well,
kidding me?
John Jones' latest performance
Speaking of
against
USADA,
OSP wasn't
Hey,
impressive.
speaking of you, son.
I mean, John Jones. I don't know if the mic hurts me, but his last performance against OSP wasn't impressive. Again, he did have a layoff, but Dominic Cruz had a layoff, and he looked great in his comeback.
but
So.
Did you think John Jones took that fight serious though?
I think he was playing conservative because he wanted that title shot.
that's-
He's
that's
always
what I
been
thought.
earlier in his career. John Jones was always the one where I want to submit you or I want to knock you out. Ever since he won the belt, ever since he beat Shogun, he's been a very smart fighter. You can't take that away from him. He's probably, arguably, the best fighter in UFC ever.
But remember, he got a loss.
No, he did not.
To USADA.
No.
The greatest person to beat him is himself.
Is the Hammer Hamill?
Mark him.
Mark Hamill
Oh.
has a win
You
over
do,
John Jones.
You do know.
It might be Matt.
No, Matt Hamill. Yes.
Yeah, Matt Hamill,
You do
excuse
know
me.
who the referee was for that match, correct?
Steve Mazzagatti, the greatest
the
of all
worst
time.
UFC referee of all time.
Yeah. Mind you, Jay, you're gonna like this. Dana White had a
I seen it. You
induced
showed me.
rage. Yeah.
Yeah.
He got in the hospital.
And he got a
Mazzagatti.
stroke from all the rage. He had a stroke from all the rage because of Steve Mazzagatti. Because of Steve Mazzagatti.
What do you say? Quote? Do you know? I know you.
Oh, well, basically, Dana White describes when Steve Mazzagatti's reffing, he just stares at the fighters. And when nothing's going on, it looks like he's into it. And when something's going on, it doesn't look like
He's
it.
just like, oh.
So basically, Dana White says, "Oh, he's probably thinking of his grocery list that he has to get when he's done, what he's got on TiVo, what he's recording. His mind simply isn't in it, or at least it seemed like it. I mean, he had some good stoppages, but they're very rare. So number 5, the Iceman. You know what that is?
Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell. Yeah. I mean, no one at the time wanted to fight him. I mean, he's an animal. He used reverse wrestling essentially to keep the fight standing.
Yeah.
He made that popular.
Would
Overhand right.
Would you call him the chin hunter?
Well, that overhand right would knock out Harambe. I mean, he's got everything. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Harambe.
So, I mean, yeah, Chuck Liddell was a beast. He had wars with Wanderlei Silva in the UFC, and I believe he came out victorious in that fight.
And Randy Couture twice.
Yeah, but Randy,
Tito Ortiz.
I could go on a rant about how I don't think he's one of the best of all time. Randy.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you put?
He's got a lazy record. Too.
Okay.
So Chuck Liddell is probably one of the godfathers of the UFC,
Especially the light heavyweight division.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
He held the belt.
wouldn't you love to see John Jones versus Chuck Liddell?
Right
No,
now,
I think John
In
Jones
Chuck
would
Liddell's
win.
prime.
Yeah, I think John Jones would win, but the
I just
overhand
feel-
right changes games. Man.
Yeah, it
Chuck
does. It
Liddell
does.
might be one of the most the fighters that you have the most fun watching.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chuck
yeah,
Liddell's
yeah.
a lot of fun.
And he talks
Great
shit.
personality.
He wants
I
to
love-
slug it out
yeah.
every match.
I love the beer belly, man. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
it, man.
yeah.
It's awkward because you can see
Trailer
his
Park.
abs, but he still pops out over his chest.
It's
It's
like,
the weirdest
we
thing.
still have on film was it Chuck Liddell. Like he's such a great personality. If I'm not mistaken, a couple years ago he was caught on camera running on the treadmill naked.
Oh yeah. That's right. But he was in his personal house.
Yes,
I've
yes,
seen
yes.
that.
Yeah. Chuck Liddell's definitely one of the scariest when it comes to that overhand right. Number 4, Theodore Emelianenko. Now, this guy obviously is remarked as one of the greatest of all time. He's often criticized because he didn't fight in the UFC, but he has victories over Mirko Kokop.
Dan Henderson.
Dan knocked him out in Strike
Oh
Force.
yes.
Yeah, Dan knocked him out. What is it?
Flying Hendo bomb.
Yeah.
What is it? Minotaur Nogueira at his prime. I mean, Kevin Randleman. Excuse me, his name. Randleman, rest in peace. He passed away too.
He got slammed on his neck.
I
He
know, and he
won the
still came
fight.
out victorious. I mean, he has some notable wins for sure, but he did lose to Verdum. He did hit a dry spell losing to Dan Henderson and stuff.
Bigfoot.
Oh, don't
Bigfoot
bring that up.
stomped him out.
That's
man.
sad to say.
Every time my friend brings up the Emelianenko greatest of all time, I have to bring up Bigfoot.
I know.
Just
Same thing happened with Silva,
Like I said, like we said before, every UFC fight will always, you don't never know who's the guaranteed
Absolutely.
victor.
It's the
unpredictable
only sport.
Yeah.
MMA is the only sport where you're constantly defending yourself and you're having a little bit of an offense as well.
And there's so many variables to consider. You might get clipped with a small punch,
Yeah,
and
that's
it
right.
changes the entire
Yep.
fight. You might gas out in the second round, and you
Like
get
King-
choked out.
like
Yep.
King-
Now, again, for someone like Conor McGregor, if he keeps fighting for the next 5 years, I guarantee he loses. He's not going to go undefeated.
I guarantee he loses next fight.
Okay, we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, that's next week.
He's trying to get me out of character. But that's not gonna
We'll
happen.
see
Try to
about
catch you
that
slipping.
Number 3, tremendous respect for this guy, but I don't know how his career is going to end with the latest Jose Aldo. He's one of the greatest of all time.
He doesn't
no
even want
doubt.
to fight in the UFC anymore.
I know.
Which
and
is sad.
He's acting like a child, if you ask me. I mean, he doesn't
You
get what
think
he
he's
wants,
acting
and
like
he's
a
starting
child?
to stomp his foot and stuff.
I think he deserves the shot, though.
I don't blame you,
Connor's
but
not giving it to
there's
him.
a point where you come. If you believe you're
A
the champion,
a
move on.
champion's not fighting.
If you believe you're the champion, take on the next guy who's calling you out. Max Holloway been calling him out for years. I mean,
Anthony
it
Pettis
seems like it.
has wanted that fight against
I know,
Jose
but
Aldo.
I don't think he deserves it. I mean, he's come. Out of 5 fights, he won
Does
one.
Aldo not deserve a rematch with McGregor?
Of course, I would love to
Yeah.
see that rematch, but
So
Connor's
if
never cutting that weight ever again.
No.
So
I
why does he
guarantee
still have
that.
the belt?
Because Dana White is Connor's best friend.
That's what I'm saying.
That's his little golden boy.
You
Now,
look at, Dana White's suspect.
I know
This man is
sometimes,
so
you know,
He will
if I
give
had
up
a
that belt,
director
though.
or any kind of boss favorite another employee, I'd be pretty upset too.
Yeah.
Connor
But-
did say he will give up one of his belts after
Yeah.
205, and I do believe him.
Now, here's the thing, though.
Well,
Connor raised the stock. He raised the stock not only for the UFC, but for the fighters.
And for himself.
You hate on him or love him, fighters are getting paid more. Fighters are acting like him. Fighters are dressing like
yes,
him.
they are.
He's innovating in a place that needed it.
He took it to a new level.
And you can hate on it, Jose, but ultimately you need Conor McGregor.
You do know a few years ago he was getting welfare from his home country.
Absolutely.
Now look at him now.
Yeah.
He's made $25 million off the Nate Diaz rematch.
And that doesn't include sponsorships
Nope.
and anything else he's doing
And all the
outside.
pay-per-view.
He's in Call of Duty. I'm
Yeah.
interested in seeing him in Infinite
Yeah, so
Warfare.
am I.
He's
making a serious shit ton of money. And I'm happy for him.
Well, I'm happy for what he's doing for the UFC for
Yeah.
sure.
And for himself, his
Yeah.
family, and everything else.
So number 2, pound for pound number 1, John Jones. I know we won't consider it because he's currently out because of. Yep, ooh, that's
He's-
USADA.
At the door.
For those that don't know, that's
He's
the
going
drug
to come back
agency.
very soon. Mark
That's-
my words.
Yeah, that's the drug agency that pops the best. And
Whenever you hear knock throughout the podcast, he has been popped by USADA.
absolutely, yeah. And then number 1, can
So
anyone
wait, it's
guess?
number 1 USADA?
Yo, they changed
got the best
game of
record.
fighters. So
They
that's
really
a good.
do.
That's a good discussion to talk about.
I don't think they lost yet.
Again, they changed the game of fighters. Vitor Belfort would never look the same because of USADA. Who? John Jones got popped for it. Anderson Silva got popped for it.
Brock
So,
Lesnar.
what's their record?
GSP as well.
They're undefeated. I mean,
we have to fact check, or
they're and Uriah Faber even called out T.J. Dillashaw. You remember that?
Yes.
He said T.J. looks like a pubescent boy now that USADA came in. I don't think that's true.
Yeah, but Uriah Faber cuts down a shit ton of weight. At 37 years old, that's a little harder to cut some weight. So
Yeah.
you might be a little suspect.
I'm just
too.
surprised. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Some of these guys are looking lean.
The UFC uses everybody uses steroids in the UFC. Nate
Now,
Diaz. said it.
Somebody needed to knock at was it Tyrone Willie?
Tyron
Woodley.
Tyron.
If he
Well
hears
said.
you say Tyron Willie, he'll knock you the fuck out.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
tell you that.
You come meet Stephen Thompson, then you say that.
That's wonderful right there.
Now, my number 1. Can anyone guess?
Your
Based
number
on
one.
appearance, man, mostly.
Oh, you
But-
told me, but I won't say it out
I,
loud.
I know
whoa,
who
whoa.
it is.
Whoa, whoa.
I know who it is, but I'm not gonna say. Jesse, you try to guess this.
The Pitbull.
Brock Lesnar.
Oh, dear
you know
God.
that's not a bad one, but it's not my number 1. Randy Silva. That guy
Ooh.
at Pride was
He's on
a
my list, too.
monster.
You told me
Now,
this man knocked at your door real quick and was like, "Yo, come meet me outside."
He's scary, dude. He's bald. I
He
mean,
got a tattoo.
and behind he's got a tattoo in the back of his head. He's essentially he looks like the Mike Tyson of
no, he
of
looked like a
MMA.
Pitbull on
He's
steroids.
exactly. Which I think in Pride he might have been. I mean, he's a huge guy.
Yeah.
But he just loves getting hit and loves hitting people. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
He's a freak. Again, I'm not speaking on skill set because he's just truly a brawler. I mean, he's got good Muay Thai, but he's a scary guy. He looks scary. If you see him, he doesn't need to dress up for Halloween because he's already
No.
scary.
His
essentially.
face looks like beef jerky. Like, let's be honest. That's Leatherface.
All right, Jesse, let's see how your list is looking.
Okay, I'm gonna go just like my man Christian over here did. 10 down. I'm stuck between Andrei Arlovsky and Wanderlei Silva at 10.
Andre Arlovsky's the real Pitbull.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call him the Pitbull.
He had the heavyweight belt. Look at him.
Vicious boxing. He's a good boxer.
He's scary.
Unfortunately not much anymore. But
Oh,
when
no.
he was younger, he looks like King Leonidas from
Yeah.
200.
Last year,
Look, Gerard Butler, that's him.
He did have some impressive wins over Travis Brown.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
Everybody beats Travis Brown.
Yeah, Travis
Yeah.
Brown. His last couple of fights. Oh dear
Poor
God.
guy, because he got signed up to fight the number 2 heavyweight, and then the number 1 with Verdum. He got
Who do you fight? Oh, Verdum.
Verdum, that first kick,
kissed
he
him in the face.
Yeah.
with
Oh
a
my
flying
god.
kick.
That was like a
that's the
karate kid.
craziest
That-
start to a fight I've
I'm
ever
sorry.
seen.
I'm sorry.
Credit to Verdum because he's like 300 pounds, getting up that high,
Yeah.
kissing the guy's face with a kick.
It was
The
he
only
6'8"?
Yeah, he's up
Travis
there.
Brown is huge.
The only thing Travis Brown's winning, he's dating Ronda Rousey.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So
That's
And
a
they
lot
both
of money.
catching L's.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe not against Amanda Nunez, but we'll get into that later.
In December.
I'm sorry. We just read a report that she don't want to hear questions.
Oh, that was
no, it
weird.
was about
That was
Cyborg?
weird. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
She's so. I love Rhonda, and I remember. I think it was November 14th or 15th. To the day, I remember Rhonda losing.
Of last year?
Yeah, of last year.
Yeah.
Of
She hasn't
her
fought in a
losing.
year.
Now, do we agree with her getting the title shot? Me either.
No.
No.
Me
Once
either.
again-
Thank goodness we're all
Once
agreed.
again, once
Don't
again,
you dare say it.
Once
'cause
again, Dana
She-
White.
I believe
if
Misha-
Conor lost his title, would he get an automatic title shot?
Yes.
Jose lost
So
his title.
what's the
That's what I'm
difference?
comparing it to.
That's
Jose lost his
because
title.
Dana
and
don't
didn't.
like him.
All right, but if Conor lost his title, will he get a title shot?
Yeah, but
He's
who's a
Dana's
bigger
best friend.
Whoa. Who's a bigger star? Ronda Rousey or Jose Aldo?
Even
Ronda Rousey.
Jose
Okay, so
holds his
why
belt
would-
for 11
All right,
years.
but I'm
We're
saying
comparing-
if Conor will get a title shot, why not Ronda?
That's
Connor's
something
been
we
in
need
and
to
out
ask
these
Dana
titles.
White.
This is the favoritism that I don't like. This
I
is the
don't like
favoritism.
the favoritism either.
Ronda should have fought Holly Holm again. I would have loved
Yes,
to see that
she
rematch.
did. She lost.
If she beats Holly Holm,
lost
she gets
too.
the title shot.
She
Early.
dropped
How
to
she
the
did
fourth.
get
I
She
I
got
felt
popped.
like Aldo deserved the rematch right after
Yeah,
just
I do
because of
too.
how long he had
I wanted
that
to see
belt.
it, but don't forget they did offer him. You might not know that, but they did offer him. It was like what, a month in advance, and he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it because he got knocked out in 13 seconds.
He did like Connor when
Well, if
Rafael
that- if
RDA dropped out of that fight
And they
at
offered
196.
Jose,
They
huh?
did offer him. They even offered him at 155. Jose said no. And
Okay, well,
Jose's calling Connor a pussy and all this shit. Like, give me my title shot. Give me my title shot.
Well, if
Connor
that-
knocked him out in 13 seconds. I kind of understand why you're not going to give him a title shot, but I'm always the type of person, you're not a true champion until you defend your belt. The one famous person that said that is in the Hall of Fame, Matt Hughes. He's a dominant champion. He had the
Good guy.
welterweight
Yeah, he's great.
belt. In my opinion, that's extremely true. Connor did not defend his belt. It'll be a year in December since he beat Jose Aldo for the featherweight belt. He's fighting Eddie Alvarez. He wanted to fight RDA for the lightweight belt 2 months after he beat Jose. Didn't happen. RDA was a bitch. He pulled out of the fight with his bruised foot. Fought Nate Diaz. He got submitted. Connor was going to fight at 200. Didn't happen because his press conference negotiations and Dana White didn't like it. They fought in August. Connor beat him by unanimous. Now, Connor isn't going back to the featherweight division because his coach, and he will never go back to that division because he cannot make the weight. Yeah. He's never missed a weight in his career, but it's tough for him.
He looks like he's on drugs. When
he's always said
It's like a
extremely-
machinist.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
If any of you guys seen that movie,
It's
yeah.
extremely
Push it
tough.
back.
It's extremely tough for him to cut to 145. So I think 155 is going to be the best division for him. But back to
But I'm saying if Jose Aldo
We
was
digress.
presented, if Jose Aldo was presented
Give the
that
man some
rematch,
respect, Jose.
Stop calling him Josie.
If Jose Aldo was presented with that same rematch like opportunity,
Yeah.
why wouldn't Ronda do it? Ronda done more for UFC than Jose did.
oh yes,
She put it on the map.
Well, no,
Yes.
that's just for non-UFC, advocates. I mean, if you're a UFC head, Christian, who would you say did just
Who has more of a
just for
significant
UFC?
impact?
Yeah.
Are you talking
I
about
was so-
fan base?
I'm
or you
talking about
Ronda?
I'm talking about in the octagon.
Ronda debatably brought women's into UFC.
she did.
Yeah.
Because
Dana White
Dana
didn't
White's
even
on
want to
record.
bring in women into the
So,
sport.
on
and
record
if she
saying that.
went that long undefeated, knocking girls out in
Well, 10
13
years
seconds,
undefeated.
15
Breaking
seconds.
girls'
10
arms.
10
Jose.
years. He's,
I know that too. I'm saying they both.
Where's
they
the
both
loyalty?
They both deserved the rematch, and if Jose Aldo was presented with a rematch, he just didn't take it. That's on him.
Here's
If
the other
Ronda's
thing.
going to be presented with a rematch and she takes it, I see no problem in that. I think she deserves a rematch.
No, I don't blame her for taking it. I just blame the UFC for offering.
Yeah.
it.
Here's the
That's
one
it.
one last point before I get back to my scariest fighters. Jose Aldo wants to leave the UFC. Dana White
He'll
even
play
offered
soccer.
Dana White even offered him. He was like, "You can fight Conor after the Eddie Alvarez fight." Jose said no.
Well, I
He
don't
wants-
blame him for saying no.
neither
because
do I. He
the
wants
UFC,
nothing
yeah.
to do with the UFC. One, I don't believe Conor. Yeah, I knew he was going to go to the lightweight division, which is the toughest division in the UFC. That hands
most
down,
stacked, probably.
hands
yeah.
down. Eddie Alvarez is no joke. We'll get into that next week. But do you know who Khabib is?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
23-0. he deserves the title shot.
I think he pumped my gas when I was in Jersey.
He deserves the title shot. But that's another topic for another time. But back to my top 10 scariest fighters. Number 9, I got Cain Velasquez, former heavyweight.
That's a good one. That's a good
former
one.
heavyweight champion. He had his wars
it's
with
hard
Junior
not to-
Dos Santos.
That
His
name
last
Cain.
fight, though, I'm
Against
telling you, he
Martino.
put $10 in his gas tank.
He did beat Travis Brown. That
Oh,
was
he
very
did. Yeah.
impressive.
Oh, everyone beat Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Ronda's the one in the ring or in the bed.
Number 8, might give me some criticism, but I got some more. I'm more of an old school guy, in my top
Okay.
5. I
And
have
those
old
are
school
probably,
fighters.
and it's probably the most violent. Back in the early days, like
Oh,
Liddell battles.
yeah. He's up there. Yeah. Let me get into that. Number 8 got John Jones.
Oh wow, he's high.
Yeah, he is high, but I have no disrespect. That's not no disrespect to him. He's going to be the greatest UFC fighter ever if he gets his shit
Hopefully,
together.
yeah.
He's 22-1. That one loss should not.
He's 23
be
and
against
0.
him.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When you choking,
Basically.
when you're choking guys out standing up,
Yeah,
That's
Leona
impressive.
Machida-
His
he put
victory
Leona
over
Machida
Lyoto was impressive
to
because that
sleep.
first round was difficult for John.
Yes.
Because Lyoto's karate, it screws
and
with
that's a
people.
young Lyoto Machida.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Alexander
that-
Gustafsson was a problem.
Oh, that
He
was a
put John
great
Jones in the
fight. That was
hospital
a
after the
great
fight. I disagree. I think Gustafsson took that fight.
Chael Sonnen broke his toe.
I think just
Yeah.
the reward.
And John Jones still whooped his ass.
And then Vitor Belfort broke his arm.
Yes.
still
And
won.
he powered through that and submitted him with the Kimura
Yep.
later
Very
in the fight.
impressive.
John Jones, I hope he comes back. Hope he gets his shit together. I
Yeah.
want him to be champion of the world again. Get his life together.
DC.
he didn't
and-
mean to quote DC right there.
DC and Anthony Johnson have been talking a lot of shit about Daddy
yeah.
when he ain't home.
Yeah.
That's
That's
right.
what's going
All
on.
I know is John Jones is coming for
They
everybody.
subtweeting out here.
I have Conor at 7, and that's coming from a Conor McGregor fan. Mentally, I'll give you a great
yeah,
example.
yeah.
Going into the Jose Aldo tours, they went around the world twice.
I mean,
He fucked with Jose's head from. They started in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Jose's
That's where it
hometown.
went on.
Conor was
I
having.
thought it was a
his-
boy band.
Conor was having his feet up on the press conference saying, "I'm the king of Brazil." He's saying, "I run this whole shit," like he's been saying for months. He looked right in Jose Aldo's face and says, "You're going to die in the octagon." And ever since that press conference, Jose looked scared ever since. Going into the training, obviously is confidence in himself. He hasn't lost in 10 years. Going into the octagon, he looked nervous as fuck. Conor McGregor extremely loose. He's not worrying about a damn thing.
That's one.
14 win streak going into that.
Mind games.
14 win streak going into that fight. And then, did you see the clips of him practicing before the fight?
Yeah, yeah.
How he always
Playing touch buzz in the park.
No.
Conor predicted.
I know what you're talking about.
Conor predicted what he was going to do to Jose. He would overextend on
Mystic
his right.
Mike.
Yeah, Mystic
Mystic
Mac.
Mac.
He always predicts his shit.
He's not always right.
No, but he's pretty accurate. Anyway, before the fight, he was practicing on that snap left going back. So he did exactly what he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
Conor said Jose was going to overextend. Conor was going to snap back, move back, left hand, dropped him. 13
Very
seconds.
simple punch. He just placed it in the right button.
Yeah, and I would say one thing about Conor, he is improving his overall game.
Absolutely.
You know,
He will
adding
be
in
a
his
black
ground
belt in
game.
jiu-jitsu, and not in no time, but in his future career, yes. He's already a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. That's one of his weaknesses as well, is wrestling. Just look at Chad Mendez. Eddie Alvarez, that's another topic we'll talk about next week, but he's a hell of a wrestler. He wrestled in college. I don't know where. I don't think he was a D1 college wrestler, but I don't know his record in college. We could pull that up. But he was a boxer in high school. He could box his ass off. His trainer's Mark Henry. Mark Henry's no joke. He just beat arguably the best lightweight champion ever in Rafael Dos Anjos.
As Conor says, he was blessed with that
Yeah.
right hand.
Yeah.
He barely. It was
And
like
then-
the
So we
lottery.
get the touch
I
of death.
Who, Conor?
Yeah.
Conor has to touch it, definitely.
Yeah.
With that
I
left hand.
definitely agree, though. I had Eddie Alvarez winning that fight.
Hands down.
Going into
Did
RDA,
you?
yes, I did. Because Eddie
I thought
Alvarez
Rafael was gonna eat him up.
very impressive to me. He did get a little bit sloppy. Conor was selling it how it is. He did get a little bit sloppy toward the end of that fight. He was throwing flying knees, which Eddie Alvarez never does.
Yeah.
He wanted to use his boxing, get his space, finish him up with his combination, which he's obviously did. Then her being called the fight, and he's lightweight champ.
I'm just gonna say, I wish you guys can see all the motions that Jesse's doing because he's lighting it up.
He's passionate.
Yeah,
I'm-
I love it.
I'm-
I love it. I love it.
I'm
I
passionate
love
about
it.
Conor.
I love
And
it.
one last thing.
About Conor.
In my opinion, Conor McGregor is the best trash talker since the greatest boxer of all time, in my opinion, Muhammad Ali.
Oh yeah,
He's definitely
very
up there.
intelligent human being actually.
And that's the last thing I gotta say about Conor, and I could talk all day about Conor because he's my favorite fighter. But
He tried naming this the McGregor podcast, but we just wouldn't.
yeah,
let
Yeah,
him.
we had to shut that down.
Yeah, we have to stop shoe shining
the
right
first
now.
strike. The more of our. Yeah. I got number 6 is Ronda, coming out of the tunnel. That bitch got the fucking face of death. Like, you don't want to mess with
No,
her.
I
at
can't
all.
agree. She's kind of cute when she does
She's
that.
hot.
Yeah, I love it.
I ain't scared of you.
She's hot.
You
But
do
she
that,
got-
we
she
could
got
go
the
into
face
bed.
of
Like
death.
that's it.
Like, look, like when she fought Beef Carrera, because I don't know if you guys knew Beth Carrera, the whole like backside of that story. She was talking OD shit. How Ronda's like father committed suicide,
it's
and
personal
that's
stuff, yeah.
whole personal stuff. We won't get into that.
She looks focused. Soon as
And then Ronda, as soon as the fight starts, she knocks her ass out in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
About.
Yeah.
Like, she's scary, man. I want her to get the belt back against Amanda Nunes.
That's a
but
tough fight.
That's a tough fight. Amanda Nunes just beat Misha Tate, and Misha Tate beat Holly Holm, and Holly Holm beat Ronda Rousey.
It's
That's what I'm
rock,
saying.
paper, scissors.
Yeah, it doesn't
I feel
matter.
like
That division
it's-
is like
it's
it's going from the best fighter like at that division to keeps going down.
Yeah, like in the UFC, it always goes. Somebody
Yeah.
has the upper hand over somebody else's abilities. Like Holly Holmes obviously struggle. I mean, Ronda Rousey struggled against Holly Holmes because Holly Holmes has better boxing, very
Yes.
much taller
And she's a
than
very
her.
good kickboxer as
Yeah,
well.
exposed her of her abilities, and then
Boxing
Misha
game.
Tate,
Standing.
and then Misha Tate fighting
her.
Holly Holmes being on the ground.
Number 5, you had him on your list as well, Mirko Krokop.
That's right.
Like you said, he beat the shit out of Wanderlei Silva. Both of his legs put you in the hospital. It was pretty hard seeing him get knocked out by Gabriel Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Was one of the best knockouts in UFC history, but he's definitely scary. He's a great Pride fighter. He had a war with Fedor and Pride.
Yeah, that was a
he was a
great
very
battle.
good fighter. One of the best of all time, in my opinion. Czech Congo. You don't think
that
he's
one
scary?
came from left field. That
Yeah,
one
yeah,
came-
yeah.
I
You don't
would
think
pick
he's
Mark
scary?
Hunt, or there's so many fighters to pick before
You
him.
don't think he's scary though?
honestly,
think
he's
He's got good physique.
a scary looking dude.
Yeah.
Didn't he get knocked out and then somehow kept his composure and
Yeah,
knocked
and
someone
then-
else
yeah.
out?
Pat Barry
Yes.
almost
Yes.
knocked him out. The ref was blind, I guess, because Czech Congo was out on his feet.
Yeah,
but
that was crazy ending.
Look
though.
what happened.
But I think coming into UFC, he was a real deal, and then obviously toward the end of his career, not anymore. But I think he was definitely a scary fighter. Number 3, I got Fedor, arguably the greatest MMA fighter ever, definitely the best heavyweight fighter ever. Look at his resume. He was undefeated over 10 years. Never tested positive for drugs, steroids.
I mean, look at the guy's
USADA.
physique. It's straight. It's
Yeah.
a dad bod.
Yeah, yeah.
essentially.
His boxing was efficient. His ground game was efficient.
In my
His
opinion, like,
grappling was very good.
Fedor's striking is sloppy. If you guys ever view his highlights,
Yeah.
but he's so fast and relentless that he bombards people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
makes up for it.
Yeah.
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 Number
Number
2, I got Brock Lesnar, 265 pounds.
No, I don't blame you. He was
Across-
just-
That's
Across the octagon. I don't want to deal with that.
when you
what is
said
it, Gunnar Nelson? What is his name? From Street Fighter that Brock looks like?
Oh, yes, Gunnar Nelson. Yeah.
Gunjack, yeah.
when Christian brought me the topic of scariest fighters,
You thought of Brock?
the first one I thought of was
Really?
Brock
Yeah.
Lesnar because his traps are bigger than my
They
life.
3D.
Yeah, USADA had to come through and
Yeah.
minimize those a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah,
Subtracted them.
he'll never compete in UFC again, sadly. I just think of it like he's 265 pounds. He was an NCAA AA champ.
Yeah.
NFL. Play the NFL.
Oh yes, he did play
Yes.
in the NFL as well. But he's
Beat
scary.
the Undertaker's streak.
That's right.
That's
That's an-
that's
you should
another
have the
sport.
Wrong podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
He beat Randy Couture, arguably one of the best.
He beat a senior citizen.
Yeah.
He beat Frank Mir in his prime. He got submitted by Frank Mir. He got his ass beat by Cain Velasquez and Alistair Overeem.
Yeah, he was
But he's definitely scary, man.
Oh yeah,
Scary
definitely a
looking.
scary.
scary
individual.
looking. I don't think
Scary
personally that
presence.
he's a scary fighter when it comes to
Scary
skill set.
presence.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Definitely scary when
He
you
was
look at him.
exploited by Kane. I
He's
mean, he was
huge,
doing circles
Okay.
at one point, and he landed towards the cage. It was embarrassing.
Last one, Chuck Liddell.
Oh, good.
Iceman.
Iceman.
Yes.
I'm more old school.
When you have a name, Iceman, you gotta be.
Iceman, Chuck Liddell.
You gotta come with it, right?
Beat Randy
Yeah.
Couture twice. Beat the shit out of Tito Ortiz twice. Held the belt. Toward the end of his career, he tried to prove against Rashad Evans. Got his ass knocked
Yeah.
out.
So,
It
turned to
happens.
eggshells.
He was getting toward the end of his prime, which happens. It happens. Chuck Liddell was a champion. Scary, definitely a scary fighter. He talked
definitely.
shit all the time. He proved it in the ring.
It's
Ring
like somehow
octagon.
when I would see him go off for those was like 13 combos of just
Yeah.
raining
He
down
can
punches.
connect.
Like he
Good
just
kickboxer.
literally,
Very accurate.
literally like got more energy while fighting.
Yeah. He's putting on the pressure. He was a very, very good fighter at that, putting on pressure. And
You know why they call him the Iceman?
What?
He doesn't get nervous. Before a fight, he's cold as ice.
He got ice in his veins.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's gonna wrap up Jesse's list. Anybody got final thoughts? You guys?
We have just one more topic to talk about.
All right, no
Jay,
problem.
do you want to add a list, or you think you're content being the casual?
Anyone
I like
you think
listening.
they
I
didn't name
kinda-
that?
Yeah, any fighters you want?
Oh yeah,
You don't have to give a
did,
list.
Did anyone have Anderson Silva on their list?
I don't blame you. I don't know why. You told me
And,
that. I
and
just thought
another
back
one,
and I was like,
another one. I'm surprised no one. Demetrius Johnson.
He's too small. He's too cute.
I don't
I'm,
think
I'm
they're
sorry. When you, wait,
scary.
I'm sorry. He's probably pound for pound,
I know.
and with stuff in his baggage, just the greatest fighter.
My dog's taller than him. That's why I don't think physically he's scary.
no, I
But
agree.
still, if
I
you're
agree.
if you're at his, well, he had Ronda Rousey.
Well, you say
And I think
skill-wise.
I told you, I
say
think Ronda's
skill-wise.
cute where she's at.
Yeah, Ronda's scary though, man.
But I mean,
Come
if
on.
you had to see Demetrius, was it he last person he fought was an Olympic gold
Yeah,
wrestler?
Hendricks judo, he was undefeated. He was
Honest-
an Olympic gold medalist. Yes.
Honestly,
Impressive.
Yeah.
scary. I also think of Kimbo Slice. R.I.P. But
R.I.P.
he's a scary looking figure.
Yeah, but he was
his
terrible. He was
skills.
horrible.
And you watch his street fights, he looked good against
Yeah.
random people on the street.
I'm not saying
He sold himself a
skill-wise.
UFC.
He's one of my L's.
Yeah.
All right.
I kind
Any other
of what?
thoughts?
What's another topic you want to talk?
Oh
about?
yeah, there was one more I wanted to add to go with the Halloween theme since we're posting on Halloween. Basically, let's go back. If Dr. Frankenstein, who created the monster, of course, by compiling different skins and even a different brain and heart, if he were to combine 2 or more fighters to create the ultimate killing machine, who would you guys combine it against?
I'm
You wanna
picking.
go first?
I'm picking 2 fighters.
Okay.
2 fighters on top of your head to create the perfect,
Absolutely.
their
I'll
primes.
start. I'll
To-
start. I have 3
perfect fighter. You said.
to create the ultimate killing machine.
Okay. Kill him.
Yeah, man. I mean, you've got to think of
In
the
their
overall.
primes, correct?
Well, you
Like,
just
pick
think
the
you're.
fighters in the
Yeah,
primes.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so
I gotta
basically,
think. You go first.
yeah, I'll go first. The skill set of Dominic Cruz and Demetrius Johnson combined. I mean, Dominic's my favorite fighter, but his problem is his striking accuracy. He's at a 31%. Again, if he had more of Demetrius Johnson's more accurate striking and better technique within that, he'd be an absolute monster. And then you add John Jones' physique, you'd have an unstoppable killing machine, in my opinion.
I'm gonna go with. Fedor and John Jones. Fedor, arguably one of the best in MMA.
So what do you want? Like you just
I want John Jones's body type, his length,
yeah.
his power, his speed, and then the way he utilizes his body, the way he moves his body. And Fedor is definitely his kickboxing, his boxing, because I think I
think his
much
overall
stronger,
attitude, right?
is better than John Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't know the future of John Jones. He could fall off the face of the earth for all we know. But Fedor, he had a resume. He was undefeated for 10 years. So I would go with the more, like, training ability of Fedor, his boxing, kickboxing, his jiu-jitsu, his wrestling, his grappling. And then the body features of John Jones, his length, his reach, his body type, his movement, all the interesting aspects.
Now,
of those
speaking on
combined.
body types, Joe Rogan often mentions this, but the day UFC starts producing
GOAT,
money,
Joe Rogan.
yeah, no, he's pretty good if you ever see his form. But if you ever see, I mean, the day the UFC their money basically becomes almost equivalent to NBA or NFL, people are going to start going to UFC. Like the people who have potential to be good NFL players are going to start going to UFC. Basketball players, UFC. Imagine we have LeBron James in the UFC. With
How about
that
Greg Hardy?
physique, huh?
Greg Hardy.
Oh my God, he's gonna get the shit beat out of him.
He's a former. If anyone doesn't know
Former
Greg,
NFL player.
Greg Hardy is a former defensive end. played for the Cowboys.
Carolina
Had some,
Panthers.
been having some troubles
Oh,
with
he's interested
that
in MMA.
medicinal.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
And also had some
Legal
with
issues
domestic
with his
violence and
wife.
stuff like that. Said he wants to try out for the MMA, mixed martial arts. He didn't say UFC in particular, but don't see that going very well. If I had 3 guys that had to combine into one super fighter, it would definitely have to be Demetrius Johnson, Anderson Silva, and Nick Diaz.
Ooh.
That's
And-
not bad.
and
That's
That's
not
an
bad.
interesting.
The Nick Diaz one I
combination.
like because that guy doesn't get tired. You can hit him with a.
I'm
He
assuming
got
you're
the
not
grin. He
you
got
can
the
hit him with a
granite chin.
sledgehammer, and that wouldn't be enough.
I'm assuming you're not taking his skin because he cuts, he bleeds.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm taking Demetrius Johnson's skill overall, just because you put him in any environment and it looks like it just does not phase him.
Nope.
You have Anderson Silva's just precision, his lethal hands, the way he can maneuver outside of people's bodies, and
Yeah, no.
because what he did to Forrest Griffin was just
No, that's
despicable.
you can't.
Iconic.
You can't
mind
stage.
games-
Literally looked
the
like you
mind
could not
games he
land
plays
him.
in the ring.
His
too.
head
Yeah.
movement is.
You can't stage that.
You can't hit him.
You can't.
So if you put those 3 guys together, first off, if you can't hit him, and if you do hit him, you can't knock him out. And if he gets a hold of you, the game's over.
Now here's my problem with Anderson's head movement. It's great, but
is
I think
great.
what he should incorporate is Dominic Cruz's footwork. If he bounces around like Muhammad Ali, bobs his head, jabs, he's unstoppable. I think
Yeah.
he'll do great in stand up, especially if he throws his push kick to give distance.
But you got Anderson Silva's length and his legs were lethal.
And I wish the guy would dance
I
around.
mean,
for
his
a bit.
one good leg, correct?
Oh God, sensitive subject.
Back to Chris Weidman.
Chris Weidman ate.
Chris Weidman planned
Off
it.
the top of the head, I would take like a stand-up fighter like Chuck Liddell,
Okay.
just because he's a monster striker, and then maybe like a great wrestler, so you get like best of the both worlds,
Mhm.
with like Chael Sonnen maybe, or just I don't know, off the top of the head, just to get-
I'd probably pick Khabib before Chael because the way
Khabib's very
Khabib's
impressive.
ragdolling
The gas
people,
pumper.
like it's you can send that guy if you give Khabib a great stand up and you give him a good foundation overall with his grappling, he'll fight armies.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that I'm not shining his shoes too much. No, he's 23-0
impressed by
for a
him.
reason, and his next fight against Michael Johnson is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah. And he beat RDA.
Yeah.
I want to talk about one more topic before we leave for our first
Podcast,
episode.
yeah.
I don't know if you prepared a top 10 for our era of pound for pounds, but I have a top 10 here, and we could just argue about my list, or we could compare, either or.
Well, since we don't have much time, let's go with yours and
okay.
we'll debate that. once
Okay.
we-
My top 10 pound for pound. This is 1 through 10 of our era. Demetrius Johnson at number 1. Dominic Cruz at number 2.
Wrong.
Dominic Cruz at number 2. Conor McGregor at 3.
this is right now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Daniel Cormier at 4. 5. Stipe Miocic. 6. Joanna Jędrzejczyk. 7. Tyron Woodley. 8. Eddie Alvarez. 9. Michael Bisping. And 10. Robbie Lawler. How do you feel about where do you?
Just 1 and 2, you just have to replace them.
Okay.
Because only reason being is that they fought, and I know you. See
Yeah, they
them
did fight at 135 though, and Demetrius is natural 125.
Regardless, Dominic ain't cutting. Like if they fought right now, Dominic would win anyway. Because Demetrius weighs 138.
Dom is bigger than Demetrius. Yes.
Demetrius stated himself he weighs 138 off the couch.
Yeah.
Dominic weighs at least 155, 160.
Yeah.
So I just believe when we speak pound for pound, I get it. The skill set wise, Demetrius
Demetrius
is
Johnson.
a master. I mean,
8 title defenses in a row.
yeah. His coach and him, they make a great combination. And I do believe Dominic is better though because of the size and
Why do you put Connor at 3? Is there a little bandwagon going on there?
No, you don't think Connor's 3?
I don't know. I guess we lost versus Nate Diaz, and then barely skimming out the
No. What rounds did he?
Barely.
Okay, we're gonna end this right now.
well,
What 3 rounds did Nate Diaz win in that second?
I couldn't, spit off right off the top of my head, but you telling me the fight was not close? You saying
It was
Connor won?
extremely, honestly,
extremely close.
watching it at Buffalo Wild Wings, I thought Connor lost. I'm gonna be honest.
no, I said that too. I said I thought it was a draw.
I was nervous
Or they
as
might
fuck.
give it.
So
a Nate.
why would you put him at number 3?
Number 3, 1 because he beat Jose Aldo. Number 1,
True.
arguably
Fluke.
he could. We're not gonna get into that.
No,
Arguably, he could be number 1 pound for pound. if he beats Eddie
I'm
Alvarez
about
in
to
2
throw
weeks.
up.
Yes, all right. That's what I'm saying. I would put
Okay.
Conor on top 5 if he beats Eddie.
Okay. Name what 3 rounds did Nate Diaz beat Conor?
You like wait, you like
let's go
Conor
back
more
to
than
that.
DC?
Listen, Jay.
I mean, you like DC more than Conor?
No, yeah, I'd like. I
Pound
just don't
for
think. I
pound
don't think he
fighter.
should be number 3.
Who? O'Connor?
Yeah,
Conor.
just because his last 3 fights, one was just 13 seconds, so we don't know what that fight could have been more if they lasted another 13 rest of the rounds. Lost against Nate Diaz in the 3rd round. I mean, in the second round. You know,
He gassed out.
Yeah,
I'll admit it.
He exposed
He
Conor
gassed out in
McGregor.
the second fight,
Yep.
too.
Yeah, he gasses
Yeah, but he
out.
caught a
and then-
second wind.
And,
Luckily.
and
You can't
even
admit it.
Demetrius Johnson, who we got him as number 1, watched the fight, you know, right there on
Live,
side, live, and said, "Oh man, Nate got this fight."
Yeah, then
So, I
he
mean-
went back home and he said, "I understand why they give it to Conor."
Yeah,
You know
so
that.
I mean, so he for his last 2 fights, a loss and a barely won.
yeah,
Here's
but,
the issue with perception. With the perception, you watch a fight live and you remember what you saw last.
Yes.
And the last thing we saw was Nate on top of Conor.
Yeah.
So I thought, at least wisely, that the judges would see it as Nate because we only remember what we see last. But when I watched it again, 2-3 days ago, yeah, Conor I think won 1, 2, and 4.
Yeah,
Now
but
2,
by a wide.
2 is arguable, but only because
Yeah.
at the end
At
Nate
the end,
was
Nate
pouring
was
it
going
on.
off,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So you put him at.
do you agree with that, or do you think Nate maybe have won? Maybe
No,
round
I think
2?
Conor won, but I'm saying when you guys got like Demetrius Johnson and who's your number 2?
Dominic Cruz.
Dominic Cruz. These guys win flat out.
Yeah.
That's the guy who won. You know, they're winning with no problem.
Yeah.
And Conor, last 3 fights is a win.
Now
Loss,
I'm gonna
barely won.
argue with Jesse because Dom doesn't go up to 170. You
No.
know,
Yeah.
Demetrius
Yeah,
Johnson.
you can't forget
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I
Conor
will
was-
do give it to Conor,
Conor
going up that
Conor
heavy.
went
Yeah.
up 30 pounds.
Yeah.
He was fat
Yeah.
in the octagon. You do know that Nate Diaz was 200 pounds a week and a half before his cut
Yeah.
at 202.
Yeah.
to
I
fight
give Conor that, but at the
Even
end,
Conor said, he was like, Nate came in bigger than he did last time.
yeah.
And I realized that when Nate was walking out, I was like, yo, Nate's huge.
Hey, but do you know with Conor saying, "Hey, Conor said I take it any day of the week. I don't care how big you are, how small you are. I'm gonna
Yeah.
fight you." So Conor
You
said
can't
what he
take that
says.
away
Yeah,
from Conor. You can't.
I'll give him that. But and then what was Nate Diaz is what the 6th best fighter in his division.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Yeah, he
at
might be
lightweight.
ranked higher because
Yeah.
he beat Conor.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean. First of all, you're not fighting like the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
So that does.
I would like to
But-
see Conor just stay in one division, and I want to
Yeah.
see
He's
what
going
he
to stay
agree,
in
I
155, I
agree.
hope so.
Because
I, wanna
how
see-
can we rank him against?
I don't want
It
to see him
sucks.
fight at 70 ever again.
No.
I think 55 is a good weight.
Perfect.
45
Yes,
is ideal.
45 is too. That's too. It's
I
too.
want to see Alvarez.
it's horrible
I want
for
to
his
see Dos
body.
Anjos.
Yeah.
Oh
Um,
man. I know.
Yeah, if he beats these guys, beats these guys, he's
You
best.
don't, you don't
He
think
goes
he's
up.
proven enough?
Yeah, he goes to maybe number 1, number 2 next to Dominic Cruz and
Yeah.
Demetrius
But
Johnson.
last thing before we sign out here.
Dude, we keep going.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we keep-
yeah,
we keep-
yeah,
Alright,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. We
Fuck
keep
it.
going.
Are you good? What
I'm
was
gonna
you
say
saying?
a few more things. Conor did say after his fight against Nate, well, going back to the first fight, Conor ate up to 170. He was preparing for 155. He was preparing
Was it quote say I eat steaks? Was it?
Yeah.
Steaks for breakfast.
Steaks for breakfast, yeah.
Dinner.
And then he was preparing for a 155 black belt in jiu-jitsu in RDA. Then 10 days before Nate Diaz, yeah, he's black belt, but he's more of a boxer, and he's longer, he's bigger, and then he had to eat up to the weight, which I think affected his conditioning in the second round.
Big time.
But then, if you look at it in the second fight, Conor trained for 4 months for this fight. Put everything into his hard work, everything, early mornings, whatever, training all the time. He gassed out in about the 3rd round. He caught a second win in about the 4th. He was
And
landing
Nate
more.
gassed out in the 4th.
Yes, he did.
Which was
And he was
surprising.
landing counter shots. Conor was tagging him. At the end of that 4th round, Nate, I thought they were going to call the fight because that's how bad Nate's face was. The overall, the reason why they gave it to Conor was because he had 3 knockdowns, which Nate said, "Oh, I only fell because I wanted to go to the ground and hope he would come in and I would submit him." That's bullshit.
Even if it's true, you can't judge it based on
No.
what you don't know.
It's a judge.
He fell.
Like, if
he got hit.
fell,
He fell. That's
exactly.
a knockdown.
Yeah.
Simple as
3
that.
knockdowns. Conor did get a takedown in that 5th round, and the judges didn't score it, and I don't understand why. I was watching it the other day, and I did realize it the day of the fight. Conor did take him down in the 5th round off a trip on the cage, and they didn't mark it. And then Nate took him down like a minute after that too.
Yeah.
So obviously, I gave Nate the 5th round because Nate had more significant strikes in the 5th round. I had Conor winning the fight.
Barely.
Yeah, barely. It was a very close fight. Fight of the year, definitely.
Oh, yeah, it was a good fight.
Robbie Lawler and Carlos Condit.
Yeah, that's a very good fight as well. But I think Conor, man, he can't fight at 170 anymore. He's too big. 155 is perfect for him. 145, that's just bad health. And then this 3rd fight is going to be at 155. It's in Conor's hands now. He doesn't have to go to 170. It's Conor just won. He could go to 155. Nate's never fought in 145, so 155 is Nate's regular division, and that's going to be Conor's new division.
Yeah.
So they're definitely going to fight at 155. Maybe not soon, but maybe in the next year or so they'll fight again. You know how much money that 3rd fight is going to be? A lot.
All right, and we could discuss this next time on McGregor Mania MMA.
Yeah, we'll finish this list.
For now, that's gonna be it. Final thoughts are good. Anything you guys want to plug? Or...
TheCreativeTower.com. I'm a graphic designer if you need any work done.
All right, that's his. You can follow me on Twitter at CGONZ_223.
You can follow me at JESSEMARSICANO.
Having trouble spelling your name?
Yeah,
There you go. You can follow me on Twitter, JESUSDELVALLE at 23.
He's new, so he doesn't know how to tweet. None of that.
No, not at all. I'll retweet you. I'll try or something.
All right, and just make sure to stay tuned every Monday. That's when we're going to try to drop these. We also have another podcast called The Triangle Podcast where we talk NBA. That's going to be coming out every Sunday. So just stay tuned and look forward to it. Thank you for listening.
Any feedback is appreciated. If you guys want this to go longer, let us know.
Yeah. We'll have predictions for UFC 205 next week. Stay tuned.
Next week we will have the predictions.
Finish his list.
And we'll finish up Jesse.
We'll
talk about McGregor. Whatever.
Eddie Alvarez.
And being an MMA fan, just stay safe out there. Watch your chin.
That's going to be our motto. Watch your chin, guys. All right, well, see you next Monday. Have a good one.
Peace, guys.
Deuce.